Eclipse is a little slow when compared with other tools. For example, take NetBeans. NetBeans is quite fast when compared with the Eclipse. But preferred IDE is Eclipse. Everywhere people use the Eclipse very much. Taking time to launch. It does not immediately start sometimes. So it's showing for us your lucky number in this page which it is 9835841. If you refresh, you get the next other one. So this is working properly. JSP is working properly. So this is here the JSP page. In this we are using different types of tags. Okay, so you have different directives also. In this is what a directive tag we have. Then similar, this is a comment tag we use in this. Then this is called as actually a declaration tag. This is a declaration tag, and here this is going to be a method declaration. We declared a method int lucky number 7 digit we declared. One other thing is going to be here. This is called as scriptlet. We have 5 different types of tags as far as here the JSP is concerned. So the tags are going to be, first of all, directive tag. With the help of this directive tag, you are indicating that this is a page. It is nothing but a JSP page. We are saying like that. Less than percent at the rate page language equal to Java when you say. So this is called as here JSP page. Language whatever you are using is going to be Java. It understands like that. And second attribute is here content type text oblique HTML. This can contain text as well as HTML. Then here import java.util.star. This particular page requires here random class. Random class is available with the java.util.star. So java.util. Therefore we specify that java.util. Okay. After that we come into this one. This is a comment tag in the JSP. We have 5 different types of tags. This is what exactly a comment tag. A comment tag can be kept like this. So JSP page is actually a mixture of both HTML tags as well as JSP tags. If you look at HTML, this is what exactly HTML tag. Head is a HTML tag, but this is what exactly JSP tag. We can call this as JSP tag. And this is what exactly, this is a declaration tag. Here you can declare different objects. You see here, random object we created, age we created, string builder we created, like this we created few objects. So this is exactly what declaration tag. Different objects you can declare here in this. Variables or objects, whatever you want to create, you can create with the declaration tags there. After that we come into here, this is what a method we are declaring and defining. Lucky number 7 digit int. So this is going to be returning you a 7 digit lucky number, a method we define like this here. This is nothing but method. With the help of the declaration tag we do it. Similarly, here this is what expression tag we say. In the case of expression tag, we put less than percent equal to age. Whatever value you have in that, it will be evaluated. This can be variable name here. We have taken variable name, we kept this variable name is actually here evaluated. This is called as here expression tag. This you can call as expression tag here. After that we have here a scriptlet. Scriptlet is nothing but here it is going to be running some code. You can put code in the less than percent and percent greater than, like this we are finding out. When age is greater than or equal to 18, it prints the person is adult. Otherwise it prints the person is still a child. Like this message it gives us. Once again try to run this, you can get this time probably different result. Okay. So it's saying this the person is as an adult because age is taken as here 36. Due to that you get that way. So it is going to change here. Once again, when you run, probably next time you may be getting that as if age is less than 18, in that case you get the person is still a child. Like this can be working, but here the value changing. From time to time the value changing, we are taking random value. So the JSP is working here for us fine. We are using here various JSP tags. With the help of that we are trying to do it. The different types of JSP tags are declaration, then directive tags, other thing is expression tag, one more thing is actually comment tag, the last one is going to be scriptlet tag. You have scriptlets are nothing but code blocks which you put in the less than percent and percent greater than, like this you put percent greater than. So this is basically a scriptlet tag. Here we are running just Java code. In the scriptlet tag we are going to write the Java code just. We are using if condition in this. This part is called as a scriptlet tag. This is called a scriptlet. Even when I select here, it's getting highlighted on the top. It's showing like scriptlet here. So this part is called as scriptlet. This can be a kind of interview question. What are the different types of JSP? What are the different types of JSP tags? What are the different types of JSP tags? They ask you. So these JSP tags are here nothing but directive tags, declaration tags, comment tags, expression tags, and other things are going to be code tags, or we can say scriptlet tags. We have totally five different types of tags as far as JSP is concerned. Along with the HTML tags, you can mix them. If you take a JSP page can contain both HTML tags as well as the JSP 5 different types of tags, depending on the requirement you are going to use. So JSP is what basically, it is actually a user interface as well as code. It can contain both the things. You can include code in this. If you take normal HTML page, you cannot have any Java code. But as far as JSP is concerned, JSP is similar to say a servlet. At the same time, you can embed actually in this the HTML code. So with the help of the JSP, you can put code as well as you can add there the user interface. You can have user interface, you can have code, both are possible within the JSP. But whenever the page is submitted to client, at the time the JSP code is actually filtered out totally. So JSP code is converted to HTML format and that will be sent to the client. So JSP contains both server side code as well as client side code. Both are combined within the JSP page. JSP is nothing but basically servlet. Internally it has servlet. So whenever you access JSP page, at the time it's going to compile into servlet. A servlet will be created. That servlet we are going to use. So JSP gives us internally a servlet, but totally it's abstracted. Normally to interact with server, you require servlet, but JSP contains inbuilt servlet inside that. Whenever you try to view a JSP page, servlet will be created internally for us. So dynamically pages can be created with the help of the JSP. JSP contains both HTML tags as well as JSP tags. JSP tags are going to be 5 types we have in this. This point you understood, Adam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Stephen, you understood this point. If you look at JSP, it contains both servlet inside this and as well as you can put the client side code HTML also you can add in this. Even JSP tags can be converted to HTML tags automatically by the runtime environment. So that is the container, that is JBoss container or WebLogic container or Tomcat, whatever it is, it's going to convert the given JSP tags into HTML tags.
Yeah.
Okay. Now next thing is going to be Java MVC, J2EE MVC application we make. But before we proceed into MVC application, let us discuss what are the constituents of the MVC application here. So what I create in this, first of all, I create a login page. A login JSP I create. So this is nothing but actually user interface. There user can enter user ID and password. We enter their user ID and password. So from there where it goes into login controller servlet.java. There it is going to be working as a controller. So it's going to be working as a controller. That means whatever user information is sent, that is going to be processed by controller there. So the controller is nothing but here a servlet, because data from a HTML page or from JSP page you can send only to servlet there. So you are sending data to servlet. When you send data to servlet, it should be actually authenticated. Whether user login is correct or not, we need to authenticate there. So for authenticating, what we do, we take a bean there. We use a Java bean. It's nothing but a model. We call it as model. In the MVC, we have a view, we have a model, we have a controller. So view is going to be login.jsp. That is nothing but view. Servlet is going to be working as a controller. It is coordinating actually between the view and the model. It's going to coordinate between the view and model there. Model is nothing but here the data in which you have data, user data is available in that, along with that validation. So whether user is a valid user or not, it can validate. So we have here business logic as well as data that we are going to keep in the model. We are going to keep in the model. So model is going to be here. We take a model. The model is called as user login bean. This we call as user login bean. So this is going to be representing the user as well as it's going to validate the user data. Whatever user ID and password you enter, whether that is valid user ID or not, we can find out with help of this here. We can be validating that particular thing. So we use here in the server side a login bean. We use a login bean that with the help of login bean, we maintain the state. Similarly, we can be validating the given data. So here model is nothing but data for the view. So from where you are getting, from the login bean you are getting. So login bean contains actually user objects as well as the functionality to validate the user. It's very small, but in fact in real time you can have quite complex applications. So many validations, so much business logic you find in business objects. There can be a number of business objects you are going to use in real world applications. Since this is a very simple application, we created just login page. Then other thing is here login controller servlet. Then whenever it is successfully authenticating user, it goes into login result JSP page. Otherwise it goes into JSP error page. It goes into error.jsp. So here we map the servlet with the help of the web.xml. This is called as servlet descriptor. We call this as actually servlet descriptor. We are going to maintain this. So here HTML pages and JSP pages we are going to keep within the web content folder, whereas the servlet class is concerned that we are going to keep with the src folder. In the src folder we are going to keep. So let us create now a particular web application that is basically for the Java JSP MVC. Go with the file. In this it is a new. Go with the other, and here it is going to be dynamic web project. It is going to be a dynamic web project. We make here, click on next. Here put the project name as JSP sample JSP MVC. Make like this and click on the next here. So click on finish. Yes. If you expand here, sample JSP MVC, now it contains these folders. To deploy this application into server, we require here web content folder. This is very, very important for us. This is called as here root, and in the web INF folder, you have a library as well as a class folder will be created. Before you deploying, you need to make it with the help of the Ant or with the help of the Maven. You can make and you can deploy ultimately that to the production environment. But right now we are developing it. So web content folder is going to be important. In the root of the web content folder, we define the JSP. Similarly, in the Java resources under SRC, we are going to make here the required classes. We create the servlet classes in the SRC folder, and here in the web content folder, ultimately when you try to deploy that, it should be web content folder. And in this, in the root of the web content folder, I'm trying to make here JSP pages. So first page is what exactly?
I have a question.
Yes.
So suppose that actually we have written a program, an application.
Yes.
And then we want to apply actually an JSP inside that application afterwards. So what do we need to add to those application if we don't create a JSP from the very beginning, like
yes.
a servlet from the very beginning? We already have a Java application and we want to change it to JSP. Not change it to JSP, but we just want to add the JSP in it to it. It's possible, right?
JSP is going to be J2EE based, whereas normal Java application is a standalone application that contains a main method. So from that particular code, if you have any useful class, you need to convert that into class. That class you must be adding here in the web application. That you cannot straight away convert into web application.
So if we have to make another JS, if we have to make a JSP from the very beginning and add actually our Java source codes to that JSP.
That application you can convert into Java file. You can build a class there with that other application. If you feel that it contains useful functionality, you can convert into Jar a class file simply. So that class file you can take and you can actually add as a library here. In the JSP application, you can be adding that as a library.
We add it to the JSP as a library?
Yes. Because
we cannot just add the classes to it?
You can add classes also. You can add classes, but always adding like library is better because reusability. If you make simply class and put it, it is part of just this application only. But if you feel that the class is useful in number of places, try to convert it to jar, then you can add jar. That's better always.
Where should add the classes?
See, first of all, you develop a Java application, correct?
Suppose that actually we have done a Java application for a year.
Yes.
And now we want to add a JSP to it.
No, to that you cannot add JSP. That library you can take and you can add to JSP application.
So maybe actually the project was a back-end project. It was very big and we didn't have any web application in that project.
See, that's what I'm saying. Whatever functionality you develop, that you need to convert into the jar files, or you can take as class files. Those class files you have to refer in the MVC application, JSP application, you need to refer there. You made only classes there. That means business logic and some kind of code you have written. How you are going to write that code in the form of classes, correct?
Yeah.
So those classes you can convert into jar files. So those jar files you can use here, or as it is you can take that code and you can put here. So that way you can reuse it. You don't want to, rewrite that. So what you can convert to jar file those things, and that library you can take and you can incorporate in the web application. You need to build from scratch only web application. So to the existing Java application you can't convert into say web application. So the whatever classes you develop, probably they will be useful in some other areas also. Need not be always with web application only. It can be in other areas also. Therefore, try to make like class library. That library you can include in the web application. It is again going to be same thing, because in the case of web application you need to have different interface. You cannot put that interface in the Java application, because here you require web pages. JSP pages are required, or HTML pages are required. You require servlets there. So in such cases, whatever code you have written, so you tested that you can take like library. That library you can be adding to the JSP pages. Into JSP pages, if you add, that would be nice. So JSP application you can make. So that library you can add. Automatically that functionality will be available to you here. This is what really done. Everywhere they do the same thing. First of all, they develop some code. They develop some application. So the application, if they want to use somewhere else, they can convert into library. That library can be used here. Library is what exactly? Set of classes again. Set of already done classes that we are going to use as external module in this. Like that we can use.
Okay.
So this is what exactly? Sample JSP MVC. In this, first of all, I should create, as I told, a login page. First of all, a login page I should create. So I call this as login.jsp. I call this as actually login.jsp. So let me create here a login.jsp in this. Go to this and let me create here a JSP page. Go to new, then in this I click on the JSP page, then I try to write this as login.jsp. It is a JSP. I create login.jsp, click on here finish. So it is creating a page like this for me. It's creating a page like this for me. Here it is got HTTP equivalent content type. All these are available here. Just I change here. I try to put different title. Put like user login. I want to put like user login in this title. Then in the body, whatever code I had there, I take and try to insert. Code is what exactly? This is going to be the code I try to use. Okay, so if I come into this here, inside the body, I should put it. It is going to be exactly what? A form tag, action equal to login controller servlet, method equal to post, input type equal to text, name equal to name. This is what input element name, and second thing is here password, second thing is password field, and input type equal to submit, value equal to login. I am referring here login controller servlet. So I am referring here login controller servlet, therefore I should create login controller servlet in this. I should create here a login server, login controller servlet. Then I can send data to that particular login controller servlet. This is a JSP page, but in the JSP page, I take a form control here, form tag. In the form tag, I put like action equal to login controller servlet, method equal to post it is. Method equal to, even you can take get, but if you put get, what happens? They are going to be exposed here in the address bar. Whatever username you enter, whatever password you enter, they are going to be exposed there. So that's why what we do, we don't use post there. Instead of post, we we don't use get. Instead of get, we put the post in this. If you use get, what happens? Here they are going to be exposed. Whatever password you type, they are going to be shown in the address bar. So whenever you send a password as well as username to client server, at the time, don't use the get method, don't use the post method only. So in the case of post method, you have the required security. No one can see the address bar, whatever user ID and password you enter. So this is what exactly form tag, with the help of that, we try to access the login controller servlet. So this is what it is, a user interface we created. Similarly, we have other user interfaces also. Let us create first of all the required user interfaces. And one more point, whenever you work with the MVC, what happens? Views can be developed by one developer, the business logic can be done by one developer, and the controller can be done by the another developer. So like this, you can have the loose coupling feature. Loose coupling feature you can have here. So views can be developed by a developer, and the business logic can be done by one other developer, and you can take one more developer. That developer is going to develop the controller. So it need not be same user who is going to develop all these things. Like this, we are going to divide work among number of developers. So this is called as here loose coupling concept. Today you are using login controller servlet. Of course, you have written, it's working to some extent well, but some extra functionality you want to add in the future. Therefore, what you do, you can create one more controller, servlet controller, extra functionality you can put there, that you can simply use. So automatically the control can be sent to the newly created servlet. So this concept is called as loose plumbing, we can say, or loose coupling. So this is called as a loose coupling concept. So this is what exactly, not tightly coupled. If it is tightly coupled, always you have to use only login controller servlet. But here with the loose coupling concept, what happens? Tomorrow we develop new functionality with other kind of login only. So if you feel that existing servlet is not serving what you are, more features are required. So in such cases, you can use the new controller. So to that we can be binding. Just you need to change here. Automatically it can be working with us. So this is what basically loose coupling concept. Just like a wall socket. You take wall socket, you can plug in actually a TV into that. You can plug in a laptop, computer, power, or whatever you want to plug in. You can plug in the same manner. It can be. So this concept is called as loose coupling concept. We use in the MVC loose coupling concept. Views can be developed by a person, model can be developed by somebody else, and controller can be developed by some other person. So like this, we can be using, and even plumbing them together also can be quite easy in the case of MVC architecture. Whatever module you want to plug in, you can plug in with little configuration features. Slightly you need to configure. With the help of that, they can be working together. So this is the advantage of the model view controller architecture. Okay, now in this, what we do, we have kept here form action equal to login controller servlet, method equal to post. So this is the first view we created. Suppose user is logging in successfully. User is logging in successfully. So in such case, what happens there? You need to go to some other page. There you have to display login successful. If user is not logging in successfully, you should go to error page. Login error you have to show. So let us create those pages also. Let us create actually two more JSP pages. They are meant for showing successful login, and other one is login failure. So both of those two pages also we must make here. Now come to in the ending, we have those pages. One is what? Login result, login error. Like this we can create. Login result we can make and login error we are going to make. Both the pages we are going to make there. So coming to this here, in this I create this way, go with a new followed by a JSP file. Login success I put here. So click on next, then just finish. So this is what put like sign in success. Title is going to be sign in success. Inside the body I put the required content. So this is going to be the message we are giving here. We take this and try to embed in the code. Okay, so we are going to keep like this. So far we haven't defined user login bean, because of that it's giving error for us. But once we define, they will not give any error. So right now we are making like this login success. So it may give right now error, but later on it will not give error once we finish everything properly. Now similarly, we require one more JSP page. It is login error. This is what exactly login error we make. This another page we try to make in this. We take login error, then try to show with the login error. Okay. So when we come into this, what exactly it does? Sorry, username or password error, it says. Then after that we use here include directive. With the help of that, the entire login page can be embedded now within this page. In the login page you have a user ID password. Here only in this page again you are going to embed entire login.jsp. Login.jsp now becomes part of the concerned login error file. So if you look at the login error file, it is going to be part of the in the login error file you can have even login.jsp. So this is what include. With the help of include directive, you can be embedding some other page in the current page. In the current page, you can embed some other page there. So the other page is what exactly login.jsp. First of all, it displays username or password error, followed by you have with the include file equal to login.jsp. So entire login.jsp also comes here. Like this, we have written. So in this way, it is written. Now next thing is what we have created totally 3 different views in this. 3 views we created, a JSP login, login error, login success we created. Next thing is what we need to create here, a bean. We have to create a bean because bean is nothing but here it is a Pojo plain old Java object. It contains default constructor. You have set and get methods which can be even serialized. So like this we create a Java bean here. So Java bean we are going to use within the servlet. A Java bean is nothing but a Pojo class we try to create here. Now come to Java resources. Let us create here a Pojo class. The class is exactly, you have a Java bean class you have to create. So this is here user login bean. We create here user login bean class. Okay, go to this, then try to create new class. This is exactly what we write user login. Make like this user login. This is going to be just click on finish. It's going to create a user login class for us. It's going to contain this data. So if you look at this, okay, it's going to contain these methods. First of all, we have declared 2 variables. One is name, other one is password. With the help of get name, you can retrieve name. With the help of set name, you can assign name. With the help of get password, you can be retrieving password. With the help of set password, you can assign a password. The next thing is what here I am hard coding here validate. Normally I should get connected to database. In the database I should validate. But instead of getting connected to database, here itself I am trying to do it. I just pass here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in such case, it can be working. So it can just work in this way. And here, try to put one more thing also. Here, see, if this is what name you can take, name equal to name dot equals, put here like admin. Okay, admin this is, and we take password equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that case, return true, else it's going to be returning false. I'm just hard coding how this is working and see. But in fact, you should get connected to database. In the database, you take usernames. Against usernames, you should be authenticating it. Here, I'm just trying to validate with a hard coded one. This is called as hard coding here. I enter admin. I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In such case, it should be validating. So validation functionality also we kept in the bean only. So this bean is containing now here the set and get methods, default constructor, and little code with the help of that we can be validating. So here you have the business logic also in the given bean object. In the bean object you are going to have even the required business logic. So business logic is actually validating the user. User is either validated, authenticated, or here the user is not authenticated. When you enter admin and password at the time, it can be authenticated. Like this, we are writing here validate method. With help of that, we try to do it. So this is exactly what a class called as user login. With that, we try to do here this one. User login, we create a login object, we enter username, we enter password, then this is going to be getting validated here. You enter admin, you enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When they are matching, in that case, user is validated, otherwise user is not validated. Like this, we created here a bean class. We created here a bean class. With bean class, we are going to do it now. So this is what exactly user login. Okay, so I just put here user login only instead of saying bean here. I make like this one as user login. Now error disappeared here, there is no error. So we created here a model. Model is nothing but here user login that contains actually the user ID, username, then password, then one more thing is what? To validate the data. That is called as model. This is containing both state of the object and other thing is here what? Validation part. Business logic also we contain in that. Now let us take controller. With the help of controller, let us try to perform the required thing. So as soon as the user is entering username and password, the control should be sent to servlet. In the servlet, it should be creating a bean object. Then after that, the bean object should be validating it. If it is successful, we should go to the login success. Otherwise, we should come to login error. Like that, we need to write the code. So here we need to write a servlet now. So servlet should be, servlet should be called from the login.jsp. If you take login.jsp, it should be calling the servlet. So it's going to pass their name as well as password. And what is the method we are using? Post method. With the help of post method, we send to the servlet. In the servlet, we process. We take name, we take password. Then with the help of that, we create a bean object there. We validate the bean object. If it is successful, what happens? We come to login success. Otherwise, we should come to login failure. So like that, we should write. So here, so far, we created 3 different views. A login view, login error view, login success view. And one more thing is here what? A bean we created. Bean is nothing but here user login. So user login is nothing but a class we created. So the class is containing the name as well as the password as fields actually. We have setter and getter for that. And apart from that, we have a validate method. With the help of that user, we are authenticating.
You kind of lost me. Can you go and start through the hierarchy of the entire project and tell me what all that stuff does and is?
In this.
Like just start at the root directory.
Yes.
And describe what each of those files holds and
does. Web content is the web content directory we have here. When we deploy application, at the time, it's going to contain all these folders. Meta-inf folder, web-inf folder. In the web-inf folder, you have a library file, a lib folder. One more thing is classes folder. Whatever classes you write here in the SRC, so they are going to be compiled into class files and they are available as class. Web content is basically only for deployment. When you are deploying application, at that time you need to bother about the web content folder, because ultimately you are going to deploy that. When you deploy at that time, you cannot have the source code. You don't get source code when you deploy application. Only the compiled code is going to be available to you. So therefore, this is web content is going to be the folder hierarchy when you deploy the application. Web application when you deploy, it's going to be web content. There you have meta-inf folder, web-inf folder, a lib folder is in that. One more thing is going to be classes folder. There the compiled classes will be available. Whenever you compile properly, whenever you try to make this as actually a build, when you build with the help of the automated tools or manually when you build, you are going to get the entire var file here. That is nothing but web archive. We say the var file will be created. Var file as it is they are going to deploy within the application server. So in the application server, we deploy the var file. Var is nothing but web archive. We have jar file as well as var files. Jar is basically normal classes, but var file, if you take the entire web application, you are going to archive that. That's called as var file. Var file we deploy with the servers, application servers like JBoss or WebLogic, Tomcat, whatever it is, we can deploy there. So this is the folder hierarchy. Web content is folder hierarchy. In that meta-inf, web-inf, lib, classes. Then you can have here the views. Views can be having, views can be had like that. Normal processes.
Where's classes under? I see lib and I see login.jsp. I don't see any classes folder.
No, whenever you deploy application, I am saying, whenever you build it, the classes folder will be created. Right now we are not building anything. When we build, actually, it is only development environment. It is here, development environment. You cannot see all those things here. When you build, you are going to get it. Whenever you build application, at that time, you will get all those things. This is only development environment and testing environment. It's not actually production environment. When it's in the production environment, you get that particular structure. Web content folder you have in that, it can be meta-inf, it can be web-inf, it can be lib folder, it can be classes folder, compiled classes, bytecode file classes you find in the classes folder. Similarly, you have login.jsp, login error, JSP, login success. These can be HTML pages. Normally, in this manner, the structure we are going to maintain. A folder structure we maintain like that. Now here,
so how do you make a Java bean or a WAR file?
Java bean in the?
Or a WAR file, for example. You can make both, right?
Java bean.
Yeah.
See, this is nothing but a user login, which is nothing but a class here. I am making a class like this. This is here a class file, user login, in which I have name and password. These are setter and getter properties. And one more thing is here validate. This is going to validate. So this bare minimum functionality I kept in this bare minimum functionality. So this can be here a Java bean class.
Okay, so just by being in that directory, it automatically is a Java bean?
Yes, yes. No, not like that. Bean is nothing but a class file only. Java bean is nothing but a class file. Basically Java class file only. So Java class file we call it as bean. Bean is nothing but a component. Normally we think it as a component. Bean is nothing but component. That may contain even some predefined objects inside that. But I am not using any object right now inside this, but you can put other objects. For example, you take text box. So in the case of text box is a component. Or we take similarly, say whenever you work with the, say for example web. In the case of web application, you may have a grid. The grid contains rows, grid contains columns. Grid can be called as a bean there. So it contains rows in that, it contains columns. So like that we need to think as a bean. Bean is nothing but a component which you can actually drag and drop on the user interface. Normally with the beans in that way we work. But this is also called as bean because it's a component which does not have any user interface. A class is nothing but component. Like that you can think here. So this is what exactly a Java bean class. Normally Java bean class, certain features it has. One thing is what? It should be serializable. Second thing is what? It should have getters and setter methods. It should have default constructor. That can be normally called as a Java bean. So here I am calling this a Java bean. Reason, it is also containing bare minimum functionality, just like bean only it is. Like a component I am going to use. Where I am going to use as a component within the servlet, I am going to use as a component. So therefore I call this as a bean. I am going to call this as a bean here.
What folder did you put the JSP files in though? What file are they in?
This is JSP file. It is both HTML as well as JSP tags in this.
Yeah, so HTML files in JSP, what folder did you add those into? They look like they're just standing there alone.
In the web content folder I kept. You can mix both HTML pages and JSP. They can be coming in the root folder of the web content.
So, but you have to put them in web INF or meta INF. That makes a difference, right?
No, see, it is neither in the meta INF nor in the web INF. They are in the root folder of the web content.
Yeah, okay.
So here I'm.
So it automatically just loads all those
yes.
files when you click on run on the server.
Whatever HTML pages, JSP pages are there, you should put in the root folder, or you can have subfolders also, depending on the application complexity. This simple application, that's why I'm keeping here. Application can be quite complex. You can be having number of modules. So as per that module, probably you need to create a folder. Into that folder you have to put. Since application is small, I'm using only in the root folder. In the root folder itself I'm keeping. But when application becomes complex, when your application is containing hundreds of pages, you cannot keep in the web content folder. Then in that case you need to modularize it. You can create another folder. Into the folder you can put it. For example, you have admin pages. You can create a folder called admin. In that you can have admin pages. Similarly, you have marketing. Suppose you are dealing with marketing also. You can create marketing folder. So you can put marketing files in that, in the JSP files or whatever they are. So like that, normally you need to categorize that. You need to organize that depending on the application complexity. Since the application is very small, very simple, I'm making like this. Depending on the requirement, further you can divide into folders. Into those folders you can organize things. But right now here
What goes in the build folder?
Any folder.
What goes in the build folder?
In the web content folder, another folder can be created. It can be any folder name. For example, take here.
Build folder. The build folder.
Just a minute. I go with the new here. Then I can create a new folder here. I name folder name like this. Then I say admin. This user defined here. Whatever user would like to make, you can make. User can make that.
Yeah. So what? No, the build folder that's already there though. What goes in that? What's in it?
See, I did not build application so far.
Yeah. What's in that?
Whatever classes you have, when you compile, you get in.
So,
you get in that.
Will they go in there in some kind of format?
Yes, I see. No. I mean, whatever class files are there, you are going to get in that. So far, there are no class files in this. We haven't built anything, so they don't come into that. See, this is only development environment.
You have a user log.
One minute, please. This is only development environment. Whatever is looking here, it cannot be for the deployment. I'm talking about deployment. When you talk about deployment, you have web content folder. You have in that a build folder. Then you have meta INF. You have web INF. So in the classes folder only, you have the compiled classes. And as far as web content folder is concerned, you can have here normally the views. Login.jsp, login error, login success, like that you can be having. So when you deploy application, the structure is different. When you develop application at that time, structure is going to be different. So this is only development environment. In Eclipse, it's looking for you. But whenever you deploy the application, it is going to be a web content folder. So in the web content folder, you can have here meta INF folder, web INF folder. In the web INF folder, you can have here a XML file. There you can describe. You can be describing the servlets there, servlet descriptors. And login JSP, login error JSP, login success JSP are going to be simple views here. So when you deploy application, it is going to be the root folder. That's nothing but web content. There you can have meta INF, web INF, a classes folder. Then similarly, you can be having these pages. Normal case can be like this. Depending on the complexity of the application, further you may declare other folders. Example cannot be given straight away right now here. Reason,
can you just show us where they are after you deploy it? Can you just show us where they go after you deploy it? As soon as you deploy the application?
First of all, let us finish this. Let us finish this application. Then after that, we look into that. Okay, so when we build, with the help of the build tool, we build it. Using Maven, we build at that time, you understand. So first of all, let us finish this MVC application here. So now next thing is what we need to make here a servlet. We have to create a servlet in this. So for that purpose, we go into this and try to make a new servlet. What is servlet name? We go somewhere else, in fact. Servlet name is going to be same name. If we use that would be better. Login controller servlet. I want to make this servlet. Okay. So go with the, now with this. Okay. Come to SRC. Here I create. It's no new followed by, this is servlet. Servlet name keep like this. What name I have chosen from this? Login controller servlet. Okay. Put this here. So click on the here, next, then try to finish. Further next, we put do get as well as do post, both the methods we put finish it. Okay. Here these are written. Let us take actually all these and try to put. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes?
Do you hear? Okay,
Yeah?
fine. So here, now in this, this is going to be import. Take this and try to put here. Okay, let us put this here. Okay. Print writer also we use. So this is request dispatcher. Then other thing is print writer. We use both in this. Okay, now inside this, we need to write the required code, that is with the do post method.
So is this going to turn into a bean after you compile that then?
Yes, 1 minute. Log bin this is. Then after this, let us save. So errors, they have been disappearing now. No errors. Now in this, first of all, what happens? We enter name, we enter password, then it comes into this. Here we create a object, login, log bean object we created here. Then we are assigning a name, we are assigning password in this. We are assigning name and we are assigning password. Then after that, we set an attribute like log bean. So log bean equal to log bean, like this we set it. So we, with the request object, we set a attribute like this here. Then what we do in this boolean status equal to logbean dot validate. So status can be true or status can be false depending on the value we enter there. Admin we need to enter and we have to enter 1 2 3 4 5. So in such case it can validate, that means it can return true value. If you enter something else, it's not going to validate. Then here we write if status, here we use actually request dispatcher rd request dot get request dispatcher login result dot JSP, like this. So what we do here, rd forward request dot here response. So with this, what we do exactly, we are forwarding the control to the login result dot JSP. If status is successful, otherwise we go to the response object, otherwise we go to the error. With the help of the request dispatcher, we are making it request dot get request dispatcher login result dot JSP. So it's going to send control to login result JSP. Then rd dot forward request comma response to the concerned request. Here the response will be sent there. Similarly here also what is happening, request dispatcher rd equal to request dot get request dispatcher error dot JSP. Then here it is forwarding into that particular request there. So like this we are going to work with the here controller. This is controller. With the help of the do post operation, it is trying to perform the required operation. If it is successful, we go to the login result, otherwise it comes to the error page. We are going to validate with the help of the login bean in this. We take user login bean, log bean, with the help of that we try to validate. If the status is successful, we come to login result.jsp, otherwise we come to error.jsp. That way it is written for us here. So just try to run this now.
What does set attribute do?
See, whenever you have request, this is what attribute where it is. This is going to be request.set attribute. Along with the request, if you want to assign any attribute of your own, you can assign there. Attribute is nothing but some kind of property you can assign. Yesterday we were assigning something like, what exactly it was, session ID or something we were assigning, if you recall. Let me show you what we were assigning in the photo album. Here in this, show you. This is Java services. Here if you go to SRC, here in this, we were assigning, what we were assigning in this, validate captcha or image creator. At this time we assign what we are assigning exactly. When captcha is generated, here see, the string is getting created for us. The string is saved as attribute. So if you come to this here, we written object session dot set attribute captcha text dot sp dot toString. So attribute is something like a property we can be assigning to the given object. Extra we are adding there with the help of key value. Attribute is nothing but it is going to describe the given object. Using captcha text, you can find out something related to session there. So captcha string, whatever is created, we are setting it as attribute here. Attribute is nothing but some kind of key value pair. So attribute name is going to be key and value is going to be whatever value you have there. So you can associate some key value pairs with the help of the attributes. So whenever it is successful here, if you come to application, so whenever you come to login controller, if it is successful, what we do, we make an attribute here. Attribute is what exactly, name of the attribute is login bean. To this we are associating the log bean. Whatever object is created, we are going to associate with that. That means what? Here with the request.set attribute, logbean comma logbean. Logbean is going to be name of attribute and logbean is object we created. So with this key value, we are associating this object. So this object therefore you can retrieve. Where are you going to retrieve? If login is successful, there you can be retrieving. So come to that piece of code. So come to this login success. Here you can retrieve it. We are retrieving here user login bean equal to user login request.get attribute login bean. So its name you can retrieve here. you are going to retrieve its name. So where exactly we are adding name? In the login control, we are adding it. In the login controller request, we are adding a name to the bean as well as password. So whenever it is successful, you have to come to the successful page. In the successful page, you have to know the username. So how do you know username? When you attach bean with the attribute, you can avail that particular thing. So let me run here and see. Run on server. So take this, try to execute. It says like this. I should give here admin followed by this is 1 2 3 4 5 I give. Yes, there is a problem with this. Reason it is not login result, login success I should take in this. Page what I try to show is login success. Then similarly, other one is login error page. This is we create login error. Now like this now try to start it. Let us refresh. Then after that try to once again run this. Now enter here admin followed by 1 2 3 4 5. Click on login here. Still it is not changed actually. So let us stop it. Okay, so totally stop it. Then try to save once again this. Let's save this. And other thing I need to create here web.xml file also. So go with this, create here a web.xml file. Go with the new, then this is other. This is going to be XML file. Here this is web.xml. So in the web.xml, whatever is available for us, that can be kept in the so servlet name is login controller servlet. So it's kept like this web.xml file. Now try to render this here. Come to login.jsp. Try to run this. Run as Sometimes it does not start. Everything is fine. Then why this is not launching? Once again, go to this refresh. Maybe what's the reason? And we start that. Circle is not starting. Updating the planet. Let me totally stop and start this. Once again, let me start this.
Professor, you send us this code, right?
Yes, yes, I'll send.
Thank you.
See, this is the problem with the local host. Number of times, what happens with this is, you come into this, try to build this clean. I click this one here, JSP application. Okay, now that this is sample JSP, let me clean this first of all. So after cleaning, now what I do, try to run again this one, login JSP, run as server. Next it is page. it says login.jsp is not available. Okay, one thing I do, let's try to delete this. And later on we think about that. Stop from running, then go with this, refresh, run as run server. So it is coming up this time, admin, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we click on login. Login success JSP is not available. success.jsp is available here. It looks like that.
Does it have to be a capital L? You have it start with a capital L.
Fine. Let me go to this one in the source. Fine. It is bothering about that much. Okay, this is correct only. Correct. Yeah, correct. Case sensitivity matters a lot. Type exception. Okay. Login bean. This is user login we have here. So this is user login, that's correct. But in the attribute, what we kept is important. Login control, login bean we kept there. It's going to be log bean, that is fine. But whenever we come into login success, this is exactly attribute is what login bean, that is correct only. It is user login, it's correct. We come into control servlet, user login bean, this is attribute is log bean, it's correct login success. When we come into the login success, login bean, we are getting the attribute there, request.get attribute login bean, that is bean.get name we have here. Okay, user login is correct only. User login is name of the object, bean equal to user login, request.get attribute login bean. Same thing we kept with the servlet also. Attribute is what here? Attribute is login bean for us. Set attribute login bean. Log bean we are keeping in that. User login we created with that we set it. Log bean we are assigning there. That is okay. But whenever we come into success, here in this user login bean equal to request get attribute login bean is available here. Okay, there is a problem. Set everything correct. Request set attribute login bean dot log bean only we kept it. It's correct. If it's getting validated, then we come into login success. Otherwise, we come into login error. Okay. Okay, there is a problem. Why it's not showing for us? Internal error. Unable to compile. Request dot get attribute login bean. Login bean is set there. Clean it once. Sample JSP MVC. After that, once again, open this. Jasper exception, login success JSP to a type. It converts out to a type. Okay, fine. Therefore, what I do in this, the user login. Okay, so come into this. Type it's not getting, therefore put here import, not here. Come into login success here. Let me
Problem with that cast. You cast it as a user login.
no, not casting. Here required thing is this is import equal to, try to put this user login. Try to put like this. So using import equal to user login, we'll set it. Not import, what we use exactly in this. I should keep in the package, in some other package, I should put there for that one. Try to put user login simply, not working here. Import equal to user login is not taken into consideration in this. So let me put into some package by using put into package. Let me try to see this. Here whenever you take user login, it's not available in this. Okay. User login is not available for us in this. Therefore, try to put into this a particular package. I open the user login here, this one. On the top I put package. Package, this is logins. Put like package logins. Then here inside this I create a new package called as logins. Okay. Now let me refresh all the things. Okay. Let me refresh this. Whenever I put this user login, this is going to be fine. I have any package called logins in this package. Logins I put here. So in this folder, try to create a new folder, logins. New folder. There is a folder. I don't have any feature for folder. Other. Make as a folder. Okay. There is no folder feature available. Cancel this here. The default. Go to new class interface package. Filter servlets. We have project. Nothing is available like that in this. So let me go into the sample SPJ ASP MVC. Okay. Then in this, go to the C drive. This is going to be my web apps. And this I go with the sample JSP MVC. Go with the web content in this. So admin folder we created an extra. Go to the build. Classes like this here, logins classes available. Logins in this. We try to make a package first of all. In the SRC, logins created. Just try to move user login into logins folder. Come into this application now. When I will open this, here straight away is not available. Import this one as logins dot star we put. Okay. And I will be refresh. Now everything is fine. Come to the login success. Try to put here import. We use here import equal to logins dot star. Like this, we made it. Come to login.jsp. From here, try to run this. This is admin followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are successfully logged in. Welcome admin, it says like this. So when you come back to this, and again if you try to enter some 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you click on login, what happens? Sorry, username or password error. Again it's giving you the login page. So,
Professor?
Yes, please.
Can you very slowly walk me through all the code as it's executed, in the order that it's executed, I mean?
See, the order of code execution is, in this is not having any predefined flow like Windows applications or console applications. we don't have any particular path for that. Whatever resource you are trying to access, it is trying to serve that resource. That means it's going to send the content of that resource to HTML browser. So if it is containing any server content, in that case, appropriate server-side code will be called. So you don't have any predefined execution flow for web applications because the end user can be accessing any resource. The end user will not be limited to use any particular type of resource there. You don't go in a systematic path in this. So whatever page you want to see, you can see. But normal console applications or Windows applications, you have a predefined flow. In that way only you go. But as far as web is concerned, you don't have any predefined flow. Whatever resource you want to access, you can access. But normally we restrict resource access like login. So first of all, you may get into home page or you can go to the dashboard. From dashboard further, you may be navigating. Depending on the application design, normally the flow comes. But we don't have any predefined path for this. Whenever you make a request to web, so the request, the server has to send you the response to the request. If it is containing only HTML content can be delivered to you. Otherwise, if it is server side, so it is going to handle the server side code appropriately. Suppose you have JSP tags, they can be converted to HTML format and they'll be sent. And further, if you have any server side database connectivity, it's going to perform that, it's going to do. But we don't have any predefined flow like Windows applications or console applications as far as the website is concerned. But in the case of
Can you
JSP,
explain
you're
the
trying
first
to
two
access.
lines of the current file then?
Which one?
Just the first two lines of the current file that you have in view. You explain what that does, please?
This one?
Yeah, the first two lines, line 1 and 2.
Okay, this one you are saying.
Yeah.
See, this is what page directive. Page directive, long with equal to Java we use, then content type is text/HTML. The content, whatever you are going to show in this page is going to be text or HTML. Then followed by this is character set. English we are going to use in this. ISO 8859-1 is nothing but here English. And this is what exactly code page 1256 we are using. Page encoding is nothing but here code page we use ISO 8859-1. So it's going to show English alphabets. Then this is followed by normal HTML document type declaration. It is called as DTD, document type definition. So as per this schema, the HTML document must be made. So these two are directives. First one is JSP directive. Second thing is basically the HTML directive. So based on that, browser is going to render content. It is browser specific. So this one is what exactly? The web server specific JMOS, or it can be WebLogic or Tomcat, for that specific. And as far as these lines are concerned, this is for the browser. Depending on this particular template, it's going to render the content. Depending on this template, it can be rendering. So here with every browser, these are defined already. DTDs are defined. DTD stands for document type definition. So based on that, the web page can be rendered.
So what's the @ symbol used for? You got open bracket, percentage, and then you got the @ symbol.
A symbol, okay, in the descriptor file you are saying.
The shift 2 symbol.
Shift 2, @ symbol. Yes, this is whenever you want to have JSP directive, use like this. This is basically Java server pages directive. So in the directive we use @ symbol like this. Less than %@. So with this you are going to describe the Java server pages page directive. So this indicates that this is a page directive or it's a directive like that you indicate here. Less than %@ symbol, a JSP page starts with this directive only. Less than %@ followed by the directive name comes here. It's nothing but page. It's saying us it's a Java server page. Similarly, you have other things, other directives also you find. I was showing you the other directives yesterday. These are the other directives in the same manner they come. If you look at the index.jsp, here you find other directives. This page directive, then you have here, this is a comment directive, this is JSP comment, less than %, then less than %! This is nothing but declaration directive. You can declare variables here. One more thing is what here, you have other thing is less than %, and less than % you have here, this is for the scriptlet. You can write JavaScript code in that. And one more thing you have here, less than % equal age, less than, greater than. So this is called as exactly expression directive. So like this, in the JSP you have five different types of directives. One is what comments. Second thing is the I mean, like page directory like this you can use here. Then one more thing is what here, exclamation. This is basically for defining variables and objects we use. And one more thing is going to be scriptlets. For that we use, all these are called as tags. We can say JSP tags. JSP page can contain JSP tags as well as HTML tags. Both tags can be mixed up. Then how do we separate JSP tags with HTML tags with the help of these? How the server should understand so and so tag is HTML tag and so and so tag is JSP tag, how it understands, based on these definitions only it can understand. Whenever it encounters less than %, so it's going to think it as actually JSP tag. But whenever simply you have less than something like HR or you say input, in that case it understands it as a HTML tag. To differentiate between HTML tags and JSP tags, we use this kind of syntax. Again, JSP tags are going to be declaration tags, directive tags. We have here exclamation, scriptlet tags we have there, expression tags we have, comment tags. We have 5 different types of tags. So to differentiate those tags with HTML tags, we use this kind of syntax. Less than %@ means what? It's a directive tag. When you put less than %, exclamation, it means what? It's a declaration tag. When you have something like this here, less than %, then % less than, this is called as a scriptlet tag. In the same way, less than % equal, it's called as actually expression tag. So like this you can differentiate between the HTML tags and JSP tags.
Okay, can you share this code with us, please? Both pieces of code, all the code?
Should I send you?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'll send.
All the code.
Yes.
For today and yesterday.
Share the sample JSP MVC. Here in the package only we should be putting the bean class. So when you put in the bean class, the concerned class, you can call that with the help of the here package. In the login success, you can include the package with the help of the logins here. Import login ***. When you put all the classes in the logins will be available to you. In the JSP page, you can access that. I'll share this code.
Okay. Thank you.